Welcome to Duo Chat with Brittany
and Cynthia, where we talk about drama shows.
like Dawson's Creek, One Tree Hill, and more.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brittany.
And I'm Cynthia.
And today we're talking about season 1, episode 8, titled The Search for Something More, air date November 11th, 2003. And the synopsis is
Brooke takes Peyton to a college party, but the night takes a bad turn when someone drugs Peyton's drink. Nathan and Haley go on a scavenger hunt date set up by Brooke in an attempt to make up for her actions at the party the night before.
so it starts with Brooke in Peyton's bed. So apparently this day is right after the last episode.
Right.
At the Scott house.
Mm-hmm.
So we find out, though, that it's been now 2 weekends in a row that Brooke doesn't remember what happened.
Right.
I mean, at some point, there's got to be a wake-up call, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially because she's 16, 17, right. Something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Brooke hopes that she didn't make a fool of herself in front of Lucas. But Payne says that was her.
So it's weird how last episode, Brooke was on this whole thing of like, Lucas is hers and blah, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
But then like this episode, she's like, well, you didn't wake up with Lucas. But like she's now being a friend to her.
Mm-hmm.
What you would say to your friend. So I'm just like, I can't. Like 1 minute it's she wants him all to herself, and then the next she's letting her friend want him. I can't. You know what I mean? It's like choose. Do you want him or do you want Peyton to have him? Like, and again, not that he's a prize or anything. You know what I mean? Like he's a human being.
Mm-hmm.
But the point of the matter is obviously somebody is going to be hurt in the end. So, but for Brooke to be wishy-washy, because I know a lot of people say Peyton's the wishy-washy one. But right now, Brooke is right now. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like she knows Peyton likes some, but she likes some, but it's just, I don't know. I don't like it because, again, I think they're both wishy-washy, both girls, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Because, again, people always compare, because obviously there's Team Brooke and Team Peyton. And people always say how, well, Peyton's wishy-washy, but Brooke is too.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Brooke says she has to change her karma with Nathan and Haley.
I will say about that, because she said like they're the first on her list to make up. Okay, so she was wasted. Apparently, she doesn't remember how she got to Peyton's, right? But yet she remembers she did something to Nathan and Haley.
Right.
Remember the whole Audrey thing, how like she was so wasted, but she remembers what happened.
Right.
It's like, what? If you're that wasted, I don't know. It's hard to imagine that you would remember.
Right.
Because even Brooke said to Jake at the party, you can tell me I won't remember. But yet you remember what you did to these two.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. So, I don't know. That's why I can't imagine that she'd remember. Because she also doesn't remember what she did to Peyton and Lucas. How do you remember one thing but not the other?
Right.
It's like, I don't know. Are you half drunk? I don't know. What would you call it?
I don't know.
Isn't it weird though? How she only remembers certain parts. And apparently it's Nathan and Haley is the top priority now.
Yeah, and then at the music store, Haley and Lucas are going through CDs when Nathan walks in.
It was nice that Lucas walked away, even though he could still, I'm sure, hear everything.
Yeah. He just wanted to make sure if Haley needed him, he would be there.
But it was funny because Nathan's like, I called your mom and she said you were here. And Haley was like, I should lie to her next time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was cute though that he called her house.
Right. Yeah.
So Haley doesn't have a cell phone, right?
Right. As far as we know.
Yeah, that's the thing, as far as we know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Nathan explains to her that he didn't know that Brooke read her note. He didn't even know there was a note until that moment, and says, he wouldn't do that to Haley. And Haley says,
Yeah, well, she
um,
says, well, because he was like, kind of like, what now? Like, what do you think? Blah, blah. She's like, well, I, I think you're sorry.
mm-hmm.
What? Uh,
Yeah, but yeah, they're not cool.
yeah, but see, for like the audience, we're saying, you want to say to Haley, like, no, he's right, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't know that.
Right.
So it's like we feel bad for Nathan, but she doesn't know that other part.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody does besides Brooke. Well, she was drunk, and Nathan.
Right. Yeah, so Haley doesn't think them hanging out anymore is a good idea. So she's done.
Yeah, but the whole thing too is she still likes him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not over.
Right.
Until that person stops liking the other person, it's like never over. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because at any point, anything can happen. I'm just saying.
Right.
You don't agree?
Well, I think it really depends on the situations.
Well, I mean, if she grew to not like him anymore, then obviously that's it. There's nothing more that could happen. But I'm saying she could get over in a few weeks,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
I will say, I mean, it's only the next day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do think they could have waited, I don't know, a weekend.
Right. And then at the lingerie store, Payne and Brooke are there. Payne, asks Brooke how he's going to fix her karma. And Brooke answers um, that, like, how shopping there is going to help. And she says it doesn't, but it's a pick me up. And she gives Payne like a cheetah print top to try on, and Payne takes it and whoops it at her before changing in the room. And Brooke says she has a plan. If she can fix the damage she's done to certain people's love lives, maybe the universe will kick in and fix hers. And Payne says that's a long list.
Do you think that's how it works?
Not necessarily, but it could.
Well, and I think too, because Brooke has been this way for years, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not like it's going to be fixed overnight. I mean, you have to go through a whole lot of redemption if you've been that evil for years, you know?
Mm-hmm. And then Brooke tells Payne not everybody can, when she comes out later with the top on, can pull off the skeezy in the jungle vibe. And now she can fix her up too. Payne says no thanks. She's done with the drama of dating. She just wants to have fun. And Brooke says that she'll be happy to know that she got them invited to a party at Duke tonight.
Bad idea. Like,
Mm-hmm.
she hasn't learned yet, clearly.
Yeah.
But, like, why would Peyton want to go? Like,
Well,
here's the
she said
thing.
she wanted to have fun, so
Yeah, but Peyton doesn't seem like she likes parties, right?
right.
So why would she want to go?
To have the fun part.
I mean, Brooke's only going to make out with every guy,
Mm-hmm.
but Peyton doesn't want that. So, like, what is she going for?
Like I said, to have fun. She just wanted to sleep with Lucas, so she's probably wanting to do that there at the party with the college boy.
I don't think so. I don't think Peyton's like the sleep around kind of girl.
Well, she's trying to be in this moment at least.
Well, I don't think she wants to sleep with anyone. She might make out with them.
Yeah, who knows? And then Deb is eating at Karen's cafe like she said she would. Karen had made her an omelet, and Karen tells her it's on the house. It's a chance to repay her for her hospitality last night. And that's when Karen opens the envelope she has and finds out she got accepted into the cooking school in Florence because they have a last minute opening. So someone dropped out. And it's for 6 weeks in Italy. One starts next week.
Um, would you leave your kid for 6 weeks to go to Italy?
Well, Lucas is 16, so it's not like he's 6 or anything. So I don't think it's such a bad idea.
I feel like sometimes when they're a teenager, they need to be watched more.
Yeah, well, she at least at the moment trusts that Lucas can behave while she's gone.
Well, especially because he's made new friends. So it's like, I don't know if it's the best time to go. I mean,
Hmm.
I wouldn't leave for 6 weeks, not until my kid is 18.
Yeah, Karen says that's not a good time with Lucas and the cafe, and Deb reminds her that's the opportunity of a lifetime.
But see, Deb leaves her family all the time. So,
Hmm.
she has a different perspective than Karen, who has never really left Lucas.
Hmm.
So it's different. Like Karen is definitely hands on, where Deb is not. I mean,
Right.
Deb doesn't even know her own son.
Hmm.
You know, maybe that's what she should do. Maybe instead of helping Karen, maybe she should go and bond with her son.
Right. And then Brooke finds Nathan working outside of his house, and she wants to apologize for what she did to him and Haley. And Nathan tells her that apparently Tim filled her drunk self for drunken high school six. So I tried looking that up. I didn't find anything about it. So I think it was made up for the show, like some
Probably
like
it sounded like
yeah,
it.
yeah, TV show. But and then after that moment, it was never spoke of again. So that's another thing that they like to do is drop like hates of people. Yeah, so Tim definitely shouldn't have done that. And then Brooke tells Nathan that she's going to fix it and get him and Haley back on track.
I think it was a joke because Brooke said I deserve that.
Mm,
I don't think Tim actually recorded anything. I think it was a joke because she said, I deserve that, like right
mm,
after he said that.
okay.
It was like how bad Brooke really was.
Mm-hmm.
Like she doesn't even know how bad she was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nathan says that they're not going to get back together. Haley made that clear this morning. And Brooke says just to leave it to her. And then she asks him what he wants to do on the date, but then she said she doesn't have enough time to hear. And we'll call him later with the details. And at Karen's cafe, Keith asks Karen what's in the box that she's holding. She says it's bookshelves and that she's wondering if he can help her. And he says he will. And she calls it a date. And then he says it's a date as well.
Yeah, except for they have two different ideas of what this date is.
Mm. And then Brooke walks into the cafe. Haley says they're closed. Brooke looks around and realizes it's
Well,
only
she goes,
closed to her.
yeah, it's funny because she goes, I get it, close to me. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm. Like
Yeah.
you didn't know that right when you walked in. And then
Mm-hmm.
she said, we're closed. It's like she literally had to look around to notice that there's people in there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
it was pretty full. Like, how do you not know that she's talking about
Mm.
you?
Right.
But I did think it was funny when she said, like, what do you consider a perfect date? And she said, watching you get hit by a bus.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I feel like we've all kind of thought of that when it comes to certain people, like bullies and stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. So
then
Brooke.
she's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I get it. Like, I deserve that, blah, blah. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I mean, okay, if Brooke is planning this, would you go if you were Haley?
No.
I mean, it's Brooke. I'd be
Mm-hmm.
afraid. I'd be afraid of what's on the list of things I like on his date.
Right. Yeah, Brooke tells Haley she's blaming Nathan for something she did, and that's not fair. She was drunk and pissed when she found her note, and Haley knows the rest. And she tells Haley Nathan will be at the cafe at 7. And then Lucas is at home listening to the voice message of the guy from the cooking school Karen got
He
into
thinks
when
it's
she
a
walks
scam,
in.
though.
hmm Yeah, Lucas asks if that's the school she's been talking about, and Karen says yeah, but it's not a big deal because she's not going. Lucas says it is a big deal, and Karen says maybe she'll go some other time. And Lucas says now is the time. She put her life on hold for him. Every choice that she ever made was about him. And Karen says that's the way it's supposed to be. She's his mother.
I agree with that. But I would question why my son is trying to send me away.
Yeah. I mean,
Because teenage boys don't think like that.
sometimes he can.
Because Lucas in a way is like Dawson, where they're thinking outside, like they're thinking like adults in this scenario. And it's just weird because they normally don't think like that.
hmm
It's more of, oh, how do I get my parent to go away so that I can have fun?
Yeah.
And so it's just weird. And a lot of times they just don't think. Even, obviously when it comes to relationships either, it's like they just don't think, like we would. So I think it would be different if Karen had a daughter and she said this, because I think girls think more like this than boys do. So it's
Maybe.
just weird
Yeah,
how Lucas really is thinking for the best interest of her. It's just kind of weird.
well,
Like
I
it's
wouldn't
definitely
think
not
so.
normal.
That's not common, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Karen says she'll think about it, and Lucas tells her not to think about it, do it.
Do it, Mom. I want to have fun.
And then Brooke and Peyton walk into the college party. The girl offers Brooke a drink, but she says she's the driver, designated driver, and Brooke and Peyton check out the guys. Then Brooke spots a guy who she calls Abercrombie and walks over to him, leaving Peyton alone. And then
Yeah, what
Peyton
a good
walks
friend,
around.
leaving her friend
hmm
alone.
Yeah. Payne walks around until she sees a door open of a guy's dorm. He's playing music. She's impressed with his vinyl collection. She introduces herself. He tells her his name is Gabe, and he asks if she wants to hear a vinyl.
I'm not impressed with the storyline.
Right. And then Lucas gets to the river court where the other guys are. Mouth calls Lucas their prodigal son, and then Mouth teases that Lucas still knows his name.
Um, I'm just gonna say, I love what Skills is wearing.
Oh, I
He
didn't even
has a
notice.
Detroit jersey.
Oh, okay.
You didn't even notice it said Detroit on it.
No, I don't really look at the clothes, especially the guys. And then Junk asks if he and Lucas have even met. Fergie introduces himself with his full name, Ferguson Thompson. Lucas tells him he hasn't been that long since he's been there, and Skill says that it feels like forever, and does he
I
even still
think
play street ball?
I think they had introduced them because I don't think they really truly introduced them in the first episode. And
Yeah, that's
plus, it's
true.
been a while since we've seen the River Court boys, so it's like we had to reintroduce who they were because we don't know who they are.
Right.
Well, I think they all had like one-liners in the pilot, but it's like now, it's been a while.
hmm Yeah, Lucas says they'll shoot for teams like old times, and Skill says, why don't he and Fergie take it? Lucas is going to need it. And then back at the college party, the guy asks what Brooke is drinking tonight. Brooke says she's not. He says he's not drinking either because he has an exam Monday.
And
Brooke
she said, "For
asks,
what?"
yeah, and he says, at first he says psychology, but then he adds human sexuality actually, and Brooke says, what a coincidence. That's what she specializes as well. And then
Hey,
he tells her
hey, who is he?
just a random guy she's talking to. He doesn't have a name.
Okay, who's the actor?
I don't know.
Did you not take health class in high school?
No, I did.
And you didn't watch Never Back Down?
I don't think so.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You had to.
Well, if we did, I don't remember.
Oh, well, he was in the movie.
Oh, okay.
He was a star of it. I
Okay, yeah.
loved him in the movie.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah. He tells Brooke that maybe they could be study partners then. And then back in Gabe's dorm, him and Peyton are talking about vinyls. Gabe says he was wrong about Peyton. Her clothes threw him off. And she explains she's into the music, not the uniform. Gabe says, same as him. And Payne says some of them can love the songs without painting their fingernails black. And
why
Gabe
is
says,
Peyton in his dorm room by herself?
well, she thinks it's fine because the door's open. But yeah.
I don't like it.
And
Yeah,
there
but
are people,
everybody outside the dorm, like outside the room, is drunk. So
hmm,
no one's gonna know.
maybe if they're close enough to the doorway,
What did I have an issue with on Dawson's Creek?
that no one can hear
What?
what's going on. I don't know
No,
what is
storyline. What was the one thing I hated time after time?
that. I don't know.
Older people with younger people,
Right.
like age wise. And here it is. Brooke is
Mm-hmm.
at a college party, so's Peyton, and Peyton's in the dorm room with the college guy. She is like 16 years old.
Yeah, but Gabe doesn't know that.
I know, but I'm saying story wise, I hate it. I hate the
Mm-hmm.
story.
Yeah.
And I also hate the story because it's like same old, same old. It involves drugs.
Mm-hmm. And Gabe says to let him get a drink for her. She says she's not drinking tonight. And Gabe says that's why they haven't met before because she's still in high school. So now he realizes,
And
but
he's still
doesn't.
going to go through
Yeah.
with it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She says she's a regular cheerleader. And he asks about getting her a drink again. They haven't even gotten to his bootleg collection. And then that's when Peyton gives in and says, why not?
Okay, the fact that he keeps pushing
Mm-hmm.
is annoying and
Yeah.
bad. And
Mm-hmm.
then she actually was dumb enough to take it. Like, at
Yeah.
least go get the drink yourself. This is why they say
Mm-hmm.
never leave your drink unattended at parties because obviously people can slip things in.
Mm-hmm.
That is why you also go and get your own drink so that you know nobody touched it, unless it's like a mixed drink and somebody already did. But,
Mm-hmm.
and also, that's why you just don't drink at parties. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Peyton.
Either bring
Mm-hmm.
your own so you know nobody touched it,
Mm-hmm.
or get like water or something.
Right, yep. Peyton's just too young to know that. So, unfortunately.
Well, she's about to find out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so while Payne's looking at the vinyls, that's when he slips into her drink. And then back at Karen's cafe, Haley is about to leave with her shift being done when Nathan shows up. And then,
So, given how her mom, apparently, we have never met her mom, but only from what she's said,
mm-hmm,
she seems to always want to know where her whereabouts are, right?
mm-hmm,
Um, as she should. But so her mom is gonna think her mom probably knows when her shift ends, right?
right,
Um, and she probably said, "Hey, I'll be home at whatever time." So then now if she goes with Nathan, her mom now does not know that she's gonna be gone. Like she never
right,
told her mom.
mm-hmm,
It's kind of weird.
yeah. Unless Brooke told her beforehand.
Brooke told who?
Haley's mom, maybe,
I
or
highly doubt that.
Nathan. Nathan could have told her.
I highly doubt that. Because Nathan has to try to get Haley to go.
Mm-hmm,
So it's just kind of weird that it's not like, hey, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. It'd be one thing if she really wanted to go. So she was like, hey, I'll be home late. And then, I don't know. It's because we don't get any indication that she really planned on going to this date.
mm-hmm,
Because then you would have told your mom ahead of time, right?
right.
But it doesn't seem like she really wanted to go. So yeah, now he has to convince her.
Mm. That's what the first card says that Brooke had either printed out or written out for them. And then Haley says that she'll, depending on how, like what the second card says, then she'll decide if she wants to go or not. So the next card reads an address. So they have to go there and get the next envelope. But on the way, they have to tell 3 things that they like about each other.
Yeah, and she's like, oh my, yeah, I don't like this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Nathan lists that she's the most patient person he knows, and that she doesn't treat him like he's some kind of moron when it comes to tutoring, and that he knows he has no right to ask her to ask, but they never do anything fun together. This is Brooke, so it's not going to be boring, he says.
So that was his third thing.
Um,
But he didn't really say a third, did he?
I don't know.
Because I know, because I heard those 2 things, and then I was like, that's his third is they don't do anything fun. How is that something you like about the person?
Maybe the
Isn't that
second
just a
thing,
statement?
hmm maybe the second thing was that she doesn't treat him like a moron and posts on him doing tutoring. Like those are 2 separate things.
Maybe. But yeah, I
Mm.
was like, okay.
hmm And then Haley says, asks if she's free to bail anytime she wants to. Nathan says yes. And he tells her to trust him. So Haley goes along with it.
Well, at first she goes, like, yeah, right.
hmm And then back at the party, Brooke is making out with the guy, and he pulls away to tell Brooke that they should go to her room. Brooke says his is better. The guy says his roommate is sick. Brooke says she doesn't live in this dorm. They're still making out while discussing this, and the guy says that he has his car, and Brooke agrees to go there with him. And a phone rings. It's the guy's. He answers it, and he tells the person on the phone that he could stay until midnight. And then he hangs up and turns
You
around to
said it's
smile
the
at Brooke.
guys.
Yeah, the guy's phone
Oh,
ringing.
I thought you said like the guys are on the phone. I was
Oh,
gonna
no.
say, no, apparently it's his mom on the phone.
Right. No, yeah, I just
So
shorten it. Yeah.
Brooke goes, is that your mom on the phone? And
Mm-hmm.
then she said, what kind of loser pretends he's in college?
Right.
I was like, really, Brooke?
Mm-hmm.
You?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And he explains that parties are great and it's a great way to meet college girls.
And yet she's in high school.
Yep.
Little does he know he just made out with a high schooler,
Mm-hmm.
which is a good thing in my book.
Yeah.
I because remember, I hate those storylines, but I'm glad that they were both in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah,
think
so
if
he
it was
acts
your son or
right.
your daughter. It's like you don't want them at a college party.
Mm-hmm.
So, no.
Yeah, so he wanted her phone number still, but she says no after about the turning to be a college student at a
No,
party.
because she doesn't want a high school boy. She wants a college man.
Yeah, that too.
Gross. Well, that's the only reason why she didn't was because she could go back to high school and have anyone there.
Mm-hmm.
But she wants a college boy.
Yeah. I thought it was funny how after he left, she looked up and pointing at the ceiling and says, real funny.
Mhm. Well, that's because she thinks that because she just did good with Nathan and Haley,
Mm-hmm.
that all of a sudden her love life is gonna, be perfect now, and she's gonna get this knight in shining armor.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, that's what she wanted, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted God to fix it all if she did good. Well, it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, and it's still early in the night, so I don't know. I think she just thought maybe she could get away with something this time. And then back in Gabe's dorm room, he puts on music. Gabe asks if Peyton's okay. She's slumped on the bed now, barely conscious. Peyton asks what was in the drink, so now she's realizing what's going on. And then, don't need to go into detail of this at all, of course, but he does close the door. And then after what would
Wrong.
have been, you mean it was wrong that he did that, or
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't like any of it.
right.
Especially
And
because he
then,
knows she's in high school. Like, okay,
mm-hmm,
it's bad anyway,
yeah,
but she's in high school.
mm-hmm.
I don't like it. Don't like it.
And then after what would have been a commercial break, again, not going into detail too much, but he's getting closer to her, and then,
Gets on top of her.
yeah. And then Brooke is walking around outside the whatever area that is, and she calls Peyton because she can't find her.
This is what I felt weird about. Like,
Mm,
I was so curious about was because It seems like it's because like there's a bar and I don't know, it seems like it's a different, I don't know, it seems like right next to the bar and the whole area where everybody was partying is the dorm room. It seems like, I don't know, like where is it on campus?
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a
Yeah.
pretty big area and then there's the one dorm room. I,
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to think of where this would be, like what that area with all those people would be then.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. Because there's a bar clearly.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know where this is at.
Yeah. So Peyton pulls out her phone and answers it. And then she says help, but she can barely speak. And then Brooke is trying to listen. And then she is listening for Peyton through a closed door of Gabe's room. So it's the first room when you walk into that
That's what I
area.
mean.
So,
Isn't it very convenient too how
mm-hmm.
it's the first room
Right.
and it's right there? I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. It's kind of weird. Because
And I don't know how.
you would think like a dorm area, like the dorm where all the dorm rooms are, would be separate from where that is.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's just very convenient, I feel like.
Yeah. And I don't really know how Brooke could even hear anything too through the door.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Because Peyton wasn't really saying much for
Mm-hmm.
you to know or to listen. And then with all the partying going on,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you'd have to yell, shut up so I can hear.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's just weird too. Again, convenient, but
Yeah.
it's the storyline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because maybe it'd be different if Brooke just then right there and there was calling her when she got
When
to the
she heard
door,
the
and then maybe
phone or
yeah,
something. Yeah.
yeah, the ringing. Mm-hmm.
That's
Either
probably how
way,
they should have played it.
yeah. But either way, she tries opening the door, but it's locked. There's guys sitting next to the door who tells Brooke the room she's trying to get into is his. She tells him her friend is in the room, so open the door. Yeah, guy does open it. And that's when Brooke sees Gabe on top of Peyton, pushes him off. And then she somehow gets Peyton up and around her arm to not carry her, lead her outside. And then Brooke makes sure to tell everyone that's nearby that Gabe attacked her friend. And then, of course, Gabe says that Brooke is lying. Her friend is just wasted, trying to get out of it. And then Gabe, of course, had to keep going, said that she shouldn't have drank so much. And then the girl from earlier, when they first walked in, sees everything and looks at him, kind of like knowing what kind of guy he is.
Well, he's probably done it before, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because
Mm-hmm.
if this was so easy,
Yeah.
like he had all planned out.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think
And then
he does this every party, or do you think like, it was just whichever girl wanders in the room?
probably the letter.
But you know what? Like when you think back to when you were that age,
Mm-hmm.
I still wouldn't have done it. Because
Right.
I first of all wouldn't have went to a college party. I would have told if Brooke was my friend, I would said, go by yourself. Because
Mm-hmm.
I've never had that party mindset. And if I did,
Mm-hmm.
I never would have took anything somebody would have given me. Do you know what I
Right.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I just, even as a teenager, I never had that mindset. So,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But I think too, Peyton and Brooke, their parents aren't around,
Right.
clearly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is the difference too.
Mm-hmm.
Where like my parents instilled it into my brother and I,
Mm-hmm.
where we just knew but for them, they didn't have that. So
Mm-hmm.
this is all they know.
Yeah. And then back at Karen's cafe, Karen asks what's going on in Keith's mind because he seemed preoccupied. And Keith says that after Dan's party, he realized he's done settling. He explains he's developed a bad habit of letting things happen to him instead of going after what he wants. And Karen says she knows what he's saying because she feels like she's too old to be taking risks, like going to the cooking school. Well, she didn't say that, but she was thinking it.
Well, and I just find it funny because he means something. He means getting with her,
Yeah, and she means the
like them
school.
finally being together.
Mm-hmm. And Keith says that they should take every chance, take a chance every once in a while. And he asks Karen if there's something she wants and just go for it. She acts like, what? And he says, just before he could even say anything, the timer for the bread goes off.
Oh, yeah, we're on the river court.
Yeah. So Mouth is being the announcer again for the game as Lucas was playing. Suddenly his phone starts ringing. Everyone is shocked to learn he has a cell phone.
Oh, yeah, that was funny. They're like, what? You have a cell? Oh, skills. You got a cell phone too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
And
But I do like how they throw this stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, because on Dawson's Creek, we're like, so-and-so has a cell phone. What? I mean,
Right.
it was out of nowhere. And it's like, at least here, they're like making it a point. Like, this is new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Lucas answers it, and it's Brooke about Peyton. She explains what happened. Lucas tells her to call the campus police, and Brooke explains that she can't because she's been drinking. So Lucas tells her he'll be right there, and he ends up and tells the guys he has to go and starts running. So Lucas doesn't say anything, which I get because it was,
I am surprised that Lucas didn't just go anyway.
Yeah, it was time sensitive. He had to go, yeah.
No, but I'm saying like, because he told Brooke like, oh, we'll call the police or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
instead of just like, I'll be right there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
I was like, huh? It could have been like, I'll be right there, but in the meantime, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because it didn't really sound like he was gonna go from the start. It was when Brooke said, no, she's been drinking.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, it just
Yeah, but
doesn't seem like his character, especially when he
mm-hmm.
really likes Peyton. It'd have been like, it should have been like, I'll do anything for her, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah. But I hate that Brooke didn't want to call the police just because Payne's been drinking, even though what Gabe did to her is 10 times worse. So she shouldn't have been afraid of doing that. And that means that he faces
Well,
no consequences either.
and when Peyton came to, Peyton could have said, I thought he was going to give me like water.
Mm-hmm.
She, no one said it had to be alcohol, right?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? She could have
Mm-hmm.
played it as I was only asking for water when
Mm-hmm.
I asked for something to drink.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she never said, oh, yeah, get me a shot of this. She
Mm-hmm.
never said that.
Right.
And he offered the drink. It wasn't like she didn't really ask for the drink. He's the one that was pushing it on her.
Mm-hmm.
So it could have been that easy too, is she never said it. He's the one that gave it to her and he forced
Mm-hmm.
her to drink it basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I
And
feel
then
like Brooke could have, even if it was Peyton that wanted the drink, I feel
mm-hmm.
like Brooke could have very easily got out of it with the police by saying, made up a story. You know what I mean? Like she's good at that. So I feel like
Mm-hmm.
she could have, in her own way, got out of it.
Right.
So it was weird how she was like, no, I can't. I just need you here. I can't call the police. And it's like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're Brooke. You could talk your way out of it.
Yeah. And then at Dan and Deb's, Deb is setting the table. Dan asks if Nathan is joining them. Deb says no because he has a date with Haley. And Dan comments it must be a mercy thing. And then Dan says that Haley is from Westover. Her father works at the power company. And Deb asks if he thinks that Haley is, thinks that makes Haley beneath him. Dan explains that he thinks Nathan could do better. And Deb says that's funny because that's what her parents said about him. And Dan says he proved them wrong. And Deb says, well, maybe you should give Haley a chance to do the same. So I liked how Deb did that with Dan, didn't continue as, let him continually, talk bad about Haley like that.
Oh, you already went to that? Sorry,
Yeah.
I wasn't listening.
No.
Well, no, I mean, Dan was an ass
Mm-hmm.
because he goes, oh, his tutor.
Yeah.
Like it was like so negative and
Mm-hmm.
like, but Well, I hated it because he was like, oh, well, her father does this. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
and you got your money from Deb's family, so shut the F up. Like,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and I just hated it when he said Nathan could do better. Like, that's all
Right.
I'm saying. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, no, he couldn't. Maybe if
Right.
he was a better guy.
Mm-hmm.
And what does he could do better mean? Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
because so Peyton, did he like what her dad did for a living?
Right.
We don't even really know what he does for a living.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Dan would have criticized Peyton's dad for never being around.
Right.
So what is he talking about?
Exactly.
And Haley comes from a two-parent household. So it's not like Dan can even give any flack for that. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, I hate it. It's like what? Because she's not popular and she doesn't come from money. It's like, that's the only reason why you don't like her. And also because she's Lucas's friend.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the other problem. But yeah,
Yeah.
I hated it. I was like, what do you mean she can do better?
Mm-hmm. And then Haley and Nathan are walking where Haley asks, oh yeah. So she asks what the third thing is that he likes about her. So yeah, he never mentioned it. And he says her loyalty to Lucas.
That's
And
funny.
he adds
He hates Lucas, but yeah, her
yeah,
loyalty.
he adds that he's not wowed about it, but how it plays out, but it's cool. And then she lists the three things she likes about him.
And she said
And
you're
he,
not bad to look at. She knows she likes him.
mm-hmm,
I just did an eye roll.
mm-hmm. Yeah, because he's the one that mentioned his good looks. And then she says she likes the way he lets her in past all the bluster he gives everybody else. And she continues saying that she likes his smile when he solves a problem. And then she adds he's not terrible to look at. And then they get to their destination. It's a lingerie store. Nathan comments, nice work, Brooke. And, Haley's starting to regret this idea. And then back at the college, the girl from before is still with Brooke and Peyton outside on the stairs, and she asks if Peyton is okay. Brooke says, she can't stay awake, and they're on the steps with Peyton's head resting in Brooke's lap. And the girl asks Peyton if she knows where she is or her name. Peyton just answers Dizzy. And then that's when Lucas gets there. He runs over to them, and Brooke tells Lucas she didn't know who else to call. Lucas asks if Peyton's okay. The girl says she's not drunk. Gabe gave her a sedative. They need to know what it was.
And apparently she's a med student.
Yeah. And then Lucas tells Brooke to show him where, what dorm that Peyton was in. And he asks the girl if she can stay with Peyton.
Oh my God, I love this.
Mm-hmm.
And Lucas goes over there.
Yeah, so Brooke leads him to the room, and Lucas bangs on the door, and Gabe says
Okay,
to,
wasn't the door open when Brooke had the guy open? Like, I'm so confused. Because
yeah,
the door was open.
mm-hmm.
And now
But
all of a
Gabe,
sudden it's shut again.
yeah, Gabe could have just closed it after they left.
Yeah,
And the
but it's been
roommates,
open this whole time.
yeah, well, afterward, he probably doesn't want anybody to see him. He doesn't want to see anybody.
But it was funny because Lucas kicks in the door.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny because he told the one guy whose room it is, like, oh, you're gonna need a new, or you need to tell them you need a new door or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
then he kicks it in um and I just loved it because he punched. Okay, you know how much I love when the show punches people. And I just
Mm-hmm.
loved when he gave him a few punches. It was great.
Yeah.
You didn't love that part?
No, I did. I'm just reading my notes. Yeah, because he asks Gabe what he put in Payne's drink, and Gabe says he didn't put anything in her drink. And Lucas says, Gabe better tell him, or else the police, he can tell the police. Gabe says it was nothing. Then he admits it was one roofie.
And then punch.
Mm-hmm. And he asks where the pills are, and Gabe tells Lucas they're in the box. So Lucas takes the pills and punches Gabe again in the face hard. And then Lucas tells Gabe that he better hope Peyton will be all right, and then lets him go. And then back with Haley and Nathan. Nathan tells Haley this would go by faster if she helped. because they're looking for the car through the clothes. Haley says she's going to kill Brooke. Nathan finds the next car that was on a lingerie top, and the car says, "Congratulations. Now buy each other a gift and exchange them on their way to the next location."
So this little scavenger that they've got going on,
Mm-hmm.
you definitely couldn't do that in real life.
Right.
Just leave cards at different places,
Mm-hmm.
like actually in somebody's store.
Yeah, because
First of all, somebody would probably already get to it.
mm-hmm.
And secondly, I feel like the owner or manager probably wouldn't like that either.
Right.
That you're just like messing around basically in their store.
Mm-hmm. And then so they decide to shop, and then they open their gifts a little later outside the store. Ethan opens his first. It's socks. Haley said she was playing it safe. Haley opens her gift, and it's a nice top. Nathan says if they go to the next place and hate it, they can just get pizza.
By the way, what would you have done if you were Haley? Would you have gotten something else?
No, I probably would have done that too. And then back at Peyton's place, Lucas covers Peyton with the blanket, who is asleep in bed. Brooke has looked into this sedative that was given on her computer, and just says she may be disoriented and have short-term memory loss, which Brooke says may not be a bad thing. And Brooke tells Lucas it'll probably wear off overnight. So I didn't like how they relied on, the internet to know exactly what it was that she was dealing with and what would happen instead of taking her to the hospital.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're gonna trust this girl
Mm-hmm.
over. I mean, especially because Brooke's been lying all night. How do you know she's not? I mean, I'm not saying she's not lying, but it's just like you're you. Why would you trust somebody else? I would want her looked at by the doctors.
Yeah, well, I mean, the online article that Brooke was looking at too.
Yeah, but she should really go to the hospital.
Exactly what I'm saying. And then Lucas tells Brooke that he doesn't know if Peyton will be okay. Brooke feels terrible, like it's her fault.
Well,
And that,
she did take her there.
yeah, but after what
And she
happened,
didn't, yeah, but she left her.
mm-hmm,
As soon as she saw the cute guy, she was gone. She should have stayed with her.
yeah, well, now she knows the lesson.
Well, yeah, I think
And,
now she'll stay with her.
mm-hmm, and Lucas says they just need to watch her until she wakes up. And Brooke says that she can watch her because Lucas did too much already. And Lucas says he doesn't mind hanging around.
But did you hear Lucas though? He says, I worry about her too much.
Yeah,
I was like,
if he left, yeah.
oh, yeah. Oh my God. But then Brooke tries to flirt with him and says, so you have any brothers?
Mm-hmm,
It's like, and then it's like, he goes, besides Nathan. I'm like, oh my God.
right,
And then we find out though, because she was like, so what's the deal? And like all this. And he shortly explains it. But then he said that he's 3 months older than Nathan. So at least we know that.
right.
In 3 months, that's a short period of time to get two people pregnant.
Mm-hmm. And then the scene before that, Lucas told Brooke that it's not her fault. She's the one that got Payne out of there. And then later on, still at her house, Brooke says that the thing about Payne is it's really hard for her to let her guard down, but she has an amazing heart. And Lucas says that's something her and Payne have in common. And Brooke asks if Lucas is close with his mom. He says, yeah, they do a lot of stuff together. And he says that she's really great. And Brooke says that sounds nice because her parents rather just throw cash at her and send her on her way than spend time with her. And then Peyton rolls around in bed, and Lucas tells Brooke that she can get some sleep if she wants. He can watch Peyton. And Brooke says she'd rather stay up and talk to him. Lucas says he doesn't mind that. And then at the next location for Haley and Ethan's date is a restaurant by the pier. Brooke reserved a table for them, and Haley reads the next card, which says, order your favorite dish for the other person. And Ethan asks if there's any chance Haley's favorite dish is prime rib. Haley says that they have a lot of that at her house, like jokingly. And then Nathan says he's not very experienced with this, and Haley was joking, like, what, ordering food? And he says no, because with Peyton, it was all parties and games and drama. They never did anything like this. This is different. And she asks if it's a good different or a weird different, and he says good. And then at Karen's cafe, Karen mentions what happened after the SBL banquet about what Keith said about not being the person he wants to be. Karen says she feels the same, and Keith says maybe it's time that they change that. And Karen says she wants to, but she's scared, and Keith says she doesn't need to be. He promises. And they both want to talk to each other about something. But with Karen, it's about being accepted into that cooking program in Italy. It's been a dream of hers since she was a teenager. And Keith seems disappointed this was a thing she wanted to tell him. But he asks when she leaves. Karen says the day after tomorrow. But she asks him if she has the right to go halfway across the world when she has a son and a business to worry about. He tells Karen she has good instincts and acts what her gut says. And she thinks she should go, and Keith says she should trust that.
So Keith's gonna really be away from her for 6 weeks. It's funny.
Yeah, because he wants her to go just like Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so Keith says that Lucas is a good kid and she needs to go after a dream of her own. And then back at Nathan and Haley's date, Nathan asks why she couldn't be into lobster, and Haley says macaroni and cheese is the food of the gods. And
Yeah, he said if you're 5.
yeah,
Um, so then gets interrupted by Tim and the guys. And Tim's like, and Nathan's like, oh, this is my tutor. Remember my tutor? And Tim's like, oh, this looks like a date. And then Nathan, this is definitely not a date.
mm-hmm,
Oh wow. He's like, Nathan has learned nothing.
right,
And, obviously, Haley leaves.
mm-hmm,
And she has every right to. Like, seriously?
yeah,
Like, such a jackass move. It's like he's going back to his old self. And, she even says, why are you only nice to me when we're alone?
mm-hmm,
And he's like, what? Like,
yeah. He doesn't
he's
respond.
well, he's trying to say, like, it would have turned into something with the guys. And it's like, who the hell cares?
Mm-hmm,
If they're your real friends, they won't care.
right,
But clearly they're not your real friends because you don't think
mm-hmm,
he really has any. He is just the
yeah,
little puppets and that's it.
mm-hmm,
But yeah, I'm just like, oh my God. Like bad move as soon as it came out of his mouth. But you could
mm-hmm,
tell because he was just like uncomfortable, like, playing that off. And I'm like, this is looks like a date.
mm-hmm. And then before that, we learned the real reason why Haley started tutoring is because on the card, it said reveal a secret that nobody else knows about you. And Haley missed that she cheated on a test last year because she didn't have time to study when her dad was sick and her mom was out of town. So she started tutoring to kind of like Brooke, kind of make her karma better. But before that, she said she's still candy in the second grade.
I know. I was surprised. I was like, cheating? That's a big thing for Haley.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like at some point, most of everybody does it, but
Mm-hmm.
I think for Haley to have redemption, they had to say that her mom was sick and stuff.
Right.
Because Haley, the smart one, can't just cheat, just to cheat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So we never found out what Nathan's secret was, if they were interrupted by then. And at Peyton, she wakes up. Lucas is still there. He asks how she's feeling. She says, like, hell. And then she asks why Lucas is in her room because, I would be too. Because if anything, it would be Brooke that would be there. But he asks if she remembers last night. And she says that she just remembers Brooke took her to a party. And that's when Lucas tells her a guy slipped her something in her drink. And he asks that Brooke called him to help out. And he assures Payne that nothing happened. Brooke stopped him. And Lucas says he's going to wake up Brooke to let her know that she's awake. And Payne tells him she's sorry for all sorts of things. And then a bit later, Lucas drops Brooke off at the college, I guess, to get her car. He asks if she wants him to follow her home. Brooke says no, she'll be okay. And then Lucas asks Brooke, why did she call him? Why not Nathan or the other guys? And Brooke says that she knew Lucas would come through, which is true. because Nathan didn't even want to pick up Peyton when her car broke down on the side of the road. So I can see why she thought that.
Well, and what other guys, there's no one there that she trusts like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe Jake, but he hasn't been around for a minute. So,
Yeah, but Brooke doesn't really know Jake, like if he's reliable and stuff, because she doesn't know his
hmm
story.
hmm
Remember, they don't really know much about Jake. Nobody does.
hmm And Lucas tells Brooke she's a good friend to Peyton. Brooke says Lucas sounds surprised, and he says he just figured out that she was, um, and then she answers him.
Well, in this episode, like it's definitely a different side of Brooke.
hmm
A caring friend,
Yeah.
rather than being a, let's just be honest, bitch.
Well,
and
she
not
said,
and not friend. So
yeah.
it's
hmm
nice to see a different side of Brooke,
Yeah,
a
she finishes.
human side.
Yeah, because she finished his sentence with a brainless slut. And Lucas says no. He says he was going to say he didn't think that she was that tough.
Which makes no sense, but okay.
I mean, it still took some guts to stop Gabe when she found out what was happening.
Well, you have to. At that point, it's like life or death.
Yeah, but the fight or flight response, she could have froze, so who knows? And then Lucas tells Brooke to call him if she needs anything. And she did kiss him on the cheek. And now Lucas gets home and Karen tells him to tell her where he was in the land with no phones because he didn't call.
I mean, yeah, he should have called and just
Mm-hmm.
quickly, like, said, as soon as he found out, like, I'll be late because of this. I mean, at some point he
Mm-hmm.
had time to call his mother,
Yeah.
like when they were watching Peyton,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
he had all those hours to call his mother while she's been up all night worrying about him.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that would make you as a parent not want to go because it's like, you didn't tell me
Yeah.
where you were last night. And
Mm-hmm.
then when he says why, it's like he's kind of like throwing it at Karen, like this is why. So like drop it. And it's like she would if she knew. Like she's just hearing it for the first time. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Because he's kind of like brushing, like you don't care. It's like, well, she didn't know why.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, yeah, now she understands, but you should have just said that. She wouldn't have yelled at you.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe she would have asked if she could have helped or something, That's who
Mm-hmm.
Karen, I feel like, would have been.
Yeah.
Also too, I mean, I just feel like Lucas definitely should have told his mom. He had plenty of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, because he's kind of, telling her like she's overreacting, but she doesn't even know,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So
Yeah. Yeah. So Karen says that if she goes, that Keith will stay with him.
he's like, good, go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Lucas tells Karen that he went on Payne's computer and got her a flight on the emergency credit card, non-refundable. So she's definitely going now. And then Nathan is at Haley's house throwing rocks at her bedroom window when Haley pops up on the sidewalk behind him. She
Yeah,
asks
and
him if
she said, are
he's
you trying to wake up my parents? That's their room.
mm-hmm. She keeps walking, he follows her. He tells her that he needs to apologize, and she tells him he should buy them in bulk because if he's going to keep handing them out that often. And Nathan tells Haley he doesn't know how to do this. He's not like her. She asks, what does that mean? And he says that he screws up a lot, and being around her makes him not want to be that guy anymore. Haley asks him who he wants to be, and he answers he wants to be somebody good enough to be seen with her. He tells him he should have thought about that last night. She keeps putting herself out there, and he keeps blowing it. And it's probably a good thing because at this point, there's nothing he can see or do that's going to surprise her. And just then, Nathan kisses Haley. After he pulls away, she finishes her sentence with that. He tells him he shouldn't have done that, and Nathan says he wanted to, and then Haley kisses him this time. And then Deb walks into Karen's cafe. Deb asks
Oh,
if she's,
so Deb said, she said, she did say, I'd like to believe that we're friends.
mm-hmm.
Because when Karen's like, oh, I'm basically not going because of I crunched the numbers and I can't be close to for was it, oh yeah, the 6 weeks or whatever. And Deb's like, oh, I'll do it.
Yeah.
What has she ever, because she says that she has managing skills, but when has she really managed anything?
With her foundation, we just never saw it.
And then she's like, and then Haley can help me with other stuff. And it's like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
God. Hmm. And also, that's a big commitment for like Deb because that's 6 weeks and the cafe is open clearly for breakfast. And she told Keith she was closing early at 7 at night. That's
Mm-hmm.
a long time for Deb to actually, for 6 weeks. Do you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, that's a big commitment. Like, you're not going to be home at all.
Right. And then Deb says she's going to deny if this ever gets out, but there are things in her life she wish she could change if she could, and running from opportunity is one of them. Yeah, so Deb tells Karen to go to Italy. Karen says okay. And then the next scene, Brooke pearls into the court. Skill sees her first and says she isn't there to watch him play
Yeah,
Lucas.
that was funny.
Mm-hmm. Brooke sits next to Mal. She asks him what his name is. He tells her Mouth. Brooke says that was her nickname at summer camp, and Mouth is afraid of what she means about that. So Brooke explains that she's slept with her mouth open. Brooke tells Mouth that he's kind of cute and asks if he has a girlfriend. He says no, and Brooke says she's good at hooking people up,
And then he
like Haley and
smiles.
Nathan. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brooke and Lucas smile at each other.
No,
And then
also
at Dan,
mouth was smiling, like, oh, you're gonna hook me up.
mm-hmm. Yeah. And then at Dan and Deb's,
Oh
Dan
my
walks
God.
into,
Dan walks in and says, what smells so
mhm,
good? And she
yeah,
said, I got takeout from Karen. And he's like,
mm-hmm,
and then she says, oh, I'm gonna start working again. He's like, that's good. The foundation like misses you and blah, blah, blah.
mm-hmm,
And then she says, no, I'm gonna take over for Karen while she's away for 6 weeks. And he was like looking around. She's like, what are you looking at? And he goes, I'm looking for the hidden cameras because this has got to be a joke.
mm-hmm,
Like, oh my God.
yeah,
I do think it is funny because like this is Dan's whole thing of like he does not want Nathan and Lucas to bond. He doesn't want Karen and Deb to bond. It's funny.
yeah,
His worst nightmares coming true. They're, like the four of them, I mean.
mm-hmm. Yeah, Deb says that Karen has had enough taken away from her, and if she can give any part back, she can, or she will.
I think it's nice of her and funny too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Dan asks if she really did this before talking it with him first, and
Who
Deb says,
cares?
yeah, like the way he discussed all the decisions he made about Nathan with her. And then outside uh Karen's house, Keith is helping her carry her things out. Karen asks Lucas if he's going to be okay with Karen taking over the cafe while she's gone, and Lucas says if that means she can go, then he will.
You
Yes.
mean Deb taking over?
Yeah, what did I say?
You said with Karen taking over the
Oh, yeah,
cafe.
yeah. Deb, yeah. Because that's exactly what I put in my notes. That's why I said that.
So she leaves, and then it's like sort of everyone sort of scenes of like ending it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they pass Deb at
At the
the
cafe.
cafe with Haley.
Mm-hmm. And they wave.
Yeah, that was cute.
Mm-hmm. And then Keith gave Karen $6 from his last trip through Europe. That's all he had left from it.
And oh my God, they kiss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she said that he told her that she had good instincts and that she should trust them.
I know, but I'm like, you kiss and then you go away for 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long time to think about what happens after that kiss.
Yeah. And then at school, Haley walks out to see Nathan and Tim, and the guys walk up to him. Haley assumes he'll hang out with them and starts walking away. And Nathan calls out to her, walks over to her and gently moves a piece of hair from her face. So
What
now
he
he's
should
not
have done was kiss her.
yeah. But at least now You see that he's not afraid to be around her in public anymore.
But he should have kissed her.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least on the cheek or something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mm-hmm. And then also at school, Lucas runs into Peyton. She says hi and hugs him. Then she says she owes him and then walks away. Brooke smiles at Lucas and then walks with Peyton. She asks Peyton if she's been to any bad parties lately. She laughs and tells her
I don't
she'll.
think that's really appropriate.
Yeah, it's too
I
soon.
mean, yeah, I was gonna say it just happened Saturday and it's
Mm-hmm.
Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, so they walk to history together and Lucas watches them go. So highs and lows.
My high was Lucas saving the day, coming in and punching that guy. I love that.
Yeah, me too.
The low was Peyton getting drugged. And
Yeah.
my other low was Nathan with his friends calling that a not date.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Yeah, same with me. The part with Lucas helping Peyton and, making sure that Gabe at least gets some kind of consequence because he pretty much got free from all this with, them not telling the police or going to the hospital about the situation. And then the part is just, yeah, Gabe drugging Peyton and rating.
I did not like this episode. I thought it was kind of boring. Not much happened besides Nathan and Haley went on a scavenger hunt date and the party.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nothing really happened besides that. Um, so I'm gonna give it a 6. I didn't like the episode. I thought
Yeah,
it
I
was too
say,
much of the party.
yeah, well, I give it a 7.5 because I liked how it at least showed Haley and Nathan having some progress with the relationship forward and Brooke doing the right thing for once with them at least,
Mm. And then
making
who's
things
your
right.
best and worst?
Hmm. The best was Deb for helping Karen out with the cafe and taking over because that was a big thing for her to do. And then the worst is Gabe, of course. And yours?
Yeah, that college druggie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then was the worst. And then the best, I picked Lucas for coming to the rescue.
Right.
Well, the police would not have punched him.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So Lucas did.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's what, I mean, he deserves obviously worse than that, but I am happy Lucas did that.
Yeah, me too.
And he was there. I mean, he should have told his mother, but he did the right thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. And then what's the next episode?
Episode 9 with arms outstretched.
Interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Yep. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of Duo Chat. If you want to chime in with your opinion about the episode and the show we discussed, you can email us at duochatpodcast@gmail.com. And to keep up with updates about the podcast, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube at Duo Chat Podcast. And give us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. We would appreciate it.